right into it. I apologize for taking a little bit to get on here. I'm out of town and away from my usual setup, and took a little bit to get everything up and running. But if you're joining us, I'm meteorologist Shane Smith, Kentucky-based meteorologist, and we've had a few severe thunderstorm warnings out in western Kentucky tonight, and it's going to be a hard night to track these storms because of all the red dots. Evansville's radar, Fort Campbell's radar, and Paducah's radar are all down right now. So we've got Nashville and we've got Louisville. So we are flying a little bit blind tonight, but we're going to do the best we can with it. Let's go ahead and talk about the active severe thunderstorm warnings we have. First off, we have an active severe thunderstorm warning that includes Callaway County, Christian, and Marshall and Trigg and Lyon counties until that's going till 9:15 Central, so 10:15 Eastern. Still seeing some gusty winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Did have a few tornado warnings earlier on this storm, but those have been since expired. But yeah, it's turning a little bit active tonight. Christian County probably wants to go ahead and be in your storm shelter, just because there could be some pretty decent wind gusts with this. We are seeing quite a bit of lightning in this thunderstorm. And it's, like I said, friends, this is going to be hard to track because we do not have the radar site from Fort Campbell or Paducah or Evansville to work with. So all the major radar sites in western Kentucky are down tonight. It's not just an app problem or a communication problem. They're all down. I haven't got to check and see what's going on with them yet, but definitely a little bit concerning for sure. So if you have questions, be sure to post those in the chat. Yeah, probably a good idea in Christian County. Go ahead and seek shelter on this one, just because we are flying a little bit blind with the radar being down. So yeah, the heat and humidity today has been the big driver behind these thunderstorms. We can pop up the Kentucky Mesonet, and you can see temperatures running into the mid 70s right now, but we had dew points in the low 70s today. It is super humid across the state tonight, and that humidity and heat is what's helping to fuel these thunderstorms out in western Kentucky. We can take a look at the future radar, kind of show you how this is going to play out. And you notice this line should continue to push eastward. I think it may maintain its severe characteristics up until about I-65. I think by that point it should dissipate some. But we're going to see heavy rain overnight across a good chunk of the state. And then more thunderstorms develop tomorrow afternoon and evening and dive in from the northwest to the southeast. And we do have a small chance of severe weather again tomorrow with this kind of heat and humidity in the setup. Just look at all that rain Wednesday morning. That is a lot of precipitation falling. Taking a look at just like how much rain could fall in the next 48 hours across the state. Whoa. Yeah, we hope that's not right in Liberty. If we get 9 inches of rain, there will be some massive flash flooding. But just to show you, that's some of the potential we're looking at with the thunderstorms over the next 48 hours. They are going to be heavy, heavy rain producers. Shane, at least as far as hazard goes right now, this is looking more there we go. This is looking more Western Kentucky for the time being. But we will have to watch Eastern Kentucky as we go into tomorrow and Wednesday. Nothing for Corbin tonight, Tiffany, but I am concerned about the heavy rain threat in Corbin tomorrow and especially on Wednesday. See a question about Pikeville. What time is it going to rain there tomorrow? Pikeville may see a few storms tomorrow morning, Austin. I think you guys see a break in the action mid-afternoon and then some more storms tomorrow night over in Pike County. One of the things we've got to watch for, too, even though these thunderstorms are really far from the radars, we got to watch for a couple of notches. There is just a little bit of spin in the atmosphere tonight. There's not a lot, but there is enough to cause a quick spin-up tornado in western Kentucky. So if you're like west of Bowling Green and Louisville and like south of the Ohio River, I'd definitely be on the lookout for the next couple of hours. And we're going to stay on as long as these have active severe thunderstorm warnings and as long as Eli stays down. If y'all have watched in the past, y'all know my son gets a little worked up at night sometimes. So if I may have to go do dad mode and get him back down to sleep if he wakes up. But if that happens, I'll just pop the radar up and come back when I can. Thankfully, no active tornado warnings right now. Although, if you're in Hopkinsville, Lafayette, Rolling Springs, Montgomery, just be on the lookout. This is going to be a pretty good little thunderstorm heading your way here in about the next, 20 or 30 minutes. Hoptown, this could be a pretty good one. Also going to pull up Louisville so we can see the northern end of the storm a little bit better. Not looking as intense. Near Madisonville, you'll notice a lot more lightning on the southern end of the storm, so it shouldn't be as bad up around Madisonville or Dixon. Yeah, this is going to be real interesting tonight, trying to track storms in western Kentucky without active radar sites. We'll be warm tomorrow, Austin. We're going mid 80s again. I appreciate that. Ryan is the GOAT. I am just happy to be a small part of his story. He has been a trailblazer in the world of digital meteorology, that's for sure. So yeah, and I mentioned last night in my video that there was a small chance of some severe weather today, and sure enough, it's coming to pass. Just anytime you get this kind of summer setup with this much heat and humidity built up, there's a lot of thunderstorm fuel to work with, and it doesn't take much to really spike up those storms. Yeah, and it's going to be hot again tomorrow. We're talking mid to upper 80s statewide. High dew points again, and that's the big problem. Is this there is such a high moisture content in the atmosphere right now that anything that does go up is likely going to have some pretty significant precipitation with it. And I'm trying to pull up something real quick where I can show you guys. I'll show you guys just how much water we're working with in the atmosphere right now. It's a little bit kind of insane. I don't have a graphic built, but we're going to get one real quick. Give me just 1 second. If you have questions, be sure to post those in the chat, and I will be happy to answer those here in just a minute. Switch that over to that. Add layer. There we go. That's what I need. Okay, yep. 1 second, guys. Almost got this made up for y'all so you can see it. So we're about to get a little weather nerdy on you. Austin, I am not right now. They've done all they need with me, and they're back up to full staff. So had a good run helping them out. Really enjoyed it. But they don't need me right now. But if they ever need me, they know where to get a hold of me. All right. So what I'm showing y'all, this is tomorrow. This is what we call precipitable water. So this is a way to measure how much water is available in a thunderstorm if you were to like wring it all out in an hour. So anytime we see precipitable water values over 1.5 to 2 inches, that is a really good sign that you have the potential for some incredibly heavy rain. And you'll notice most of the state tomorrow is in that range. So anything that does develop tomorrow, you're going to have just insane amounts of water. You're going to have huge raindrops. You're going to have big amounts of rain, high rainfall rates. And that's a really good indicator that we how fast are the wind gusts in Kelly, Kentucky? Well, we can take a look real quick. All right, Kelly, Kentucky. That is just east of Hopkins, or just north of Hopkinsville, excuse me. So let's see if we can pull up a Kentucky Mesonet site over there. Let's go current wind. Logan County, Todd County, Christian County. Seeing some wind gusts over there right now. About 20 to 30 miles per hour. Oh, yeah. And just to talk about that rain threat for tomorrow, a good chunk of the western half of the state under a slight risk of excessive rainfall for flash flooding, and the rest of the state under a marginal risk. So that's a 5% on the marginal, 15% chance of flash flooding in the yellow. Also, we can throw up the day 2 severe weather risk as well. Let me turn this one off. Yeah, marginal risk of severe weather tomorrow in western Kentucky. So, more chances of severe weather tomorrow. We got 10 minutes left on that severe thunderstorm warning, and it does have that tornado possible tag. Austin, not non-stop, but there will be several rounds of rain in Pikeville for most of the weekend, for most of Kentucky. We've also got the, I believe this is a Mesonet cam out of Christian County pulled up to kind of see what we can see as this moves in towards it. So if you're just joining us, it's 10:05 Eastern, 9:05 Central. I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. We're tracking one remaining severe thunderstorm warning. It's got about 10 minutes left on it. Moving into Hopkinsville. And unfortunately, most of the western Kentucky radars are down right now. Paducah, Evansville, Indiana, and Fort Campbell are all offline, so we're having to use Nashville and Louisville to track these storms, and that's just really far away from those radars, so we don't get quite as good of a picture of what's going on out there in western Kentucky right now as we normally do. But we're making the best of it. If you have questions, be sure to post those in the chat. All right, and I'm just getting TikTok chat pulled up, so I apologize. We've had a couple messages over there. Springfield, Missouri. Hang on one second. We focus on Kentucky on this channel, but I will be happy to head over there and take a look for you. Nothing going on in Springfield right now. There is some heavy rain that was off to your west. But as of now, nothing going on in Springfield. Just saw another question come in. Any chance of severe weather tomorrow at 6 p.m. VBS going on at Souls Harvest Church in London? Okay, we can take a quick look at that. Kind of break down how things may play out tomorrow. Let me pop this up. Alright, so here's the future radar from the HRRR model, so don't take this as gospel, but as what could happen. Hang on one second, I'll make this easier to read in just a second. View scene layout. Oh, is this not showing? There we go. So 6 p.m. As of right now, not looking bad tomorrow night for the VBS at the Souls Harbor Church in London. But we will have to wait and see. Check in tomorrow. I know a lot of local churches have their VBS going on. Just saw an update, a new severe thunderstorm warning out. Let's go check that out. Alright, so we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Christian County and Todd County until 10:30 Central Time. So about 20 minutes, or an hour 20 minutes on that storm. Wow, that's a long warning. Still seeing some gusty winds in excess of 60 miles per hour out there heading towards Hopkinsville. So if you're in Hopkinsville, since this does have that tornado possible tag, you may want to go ahead and treat this like a tornado warning and seek shelter. Not going to see, Louisville's not going to see much tonight. Louisville should be just kind of general thunderstorms, but the worst of it's going much further south of it. Like this little bit up in southern Indiana may clip you, but it's not severe right now. Saw a question in the chat, what radar do I use? So primarily 2 radar products for on here. Radar Omega is what you're seeing right now. That's really good for like real-time radar data. And the other one I'm using is Aguacera Weather. It's web-based, or there is an app. Aguacera is just a really powerful visualization tool. You can load in models, you can load in real-time alerts, you can load in radar, satellite. So it's a lot more robust. But Radar Omega is really good just for radar. Don't know yet, Austin. It's really going to depend on just how bad it gets tomorrow. If those storms fire up in intensity pretty good, we may pop on, do a little live streaming. Also, guys, if you're enjoying this kind of weather content, like and subscribe. No matter what platform you're on, share it out with friends. That helps out a lot, especially right now. This is the slower time of year. Views are sometimes a little hard to come by this time of year. So any kind of shares are much appreciated, and they do help the channel out on every platform quite a bit. And as always, if you want to drop stars or super chats, happy to have those. They are always appreciated. So this thunderstorm moving into Hopkinsville does still have a decent amount of lightning with it. It is not looking as organized as it was on the radar. I do think this line will drop sub-severe before it gets to Bowling Green. So if I'm in Bowling Green, I'm watching it, but I'm just turning on my weather radio, making sure I've got a way to get warnings. You can see the overall trend with this storm system is weakening a little bit, and this is actually a really cool feature. Let me broaden out the picture a little bit. Go to the National Radar Composite. This is what we call a mesoscale convective vortex. So this is a really like nerdy weather thing. So you guys kind of notice this almost looks like a little mini hurricane. Kind of, you see that counterclockwise rotation. This has basically formed like a little mini area of low pressure. These happen sometimes in the summertime when we get that really intense heat and humidity, and you get like kind of a thunderstorm complex firing off, usually off an outflow boundary that's off of rain from like a previous storm from the previous day or hours earlier. And it almost forms like a little small scale area of low pressure. So this is like just like a little mini self-contained storm system that's only like not even 100 miles wide. But that's what's sparking off the severe weather. You get those a bit in the summertime. They're definitely more common then. And they can create some gusty winds. Can see wind gusts in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour with those. And they can occasionally cause a quick spin-up tornado. So that's a little weather 101 for you. Shouldn't hit Louisville. Should stay south of it. So, just pretty interesting. I'm going to actually take a screenshot of that real quick and use that to help explain it in the future. Because that's like a textbook case. We do need the rain. Rain bad, Pam. The drought situation actually has improved a bit, which is good news. I can actually pull up the latest drought monitor. Give me just 1 second. Get that data pulled up for you guys. Hey Tanya, thanks for watching. Yeah, Austin, I am going to have a few more updates tomorrow, and thank you, Michelle, for watching. Yeah, so let me pop this off real quick. So yeah, this is the latest drought monitor, and you'll notice we have cut back that extreme drought quite a bit. There's still some pockets of it around like Williamsburg and Somerset and Liberty. And we still got a severe drought in most of eastern Kentucky, but I'm hoping this rain will help with that. Definitely more in southern Kentucky than in northern. So once again, Western Kentucky continuing for about another hour and 11 minutes. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that does include Hopkinsville. The worst of that storm should be rolling into town right now. So if you are in the Hopkinsville area, let your friends know we do have a pretty potent thunderstorm rolling into town. Let me see if I can find a webcam out of Hoptown to pull up and look at. Well, thank you for watching. So, guys, yeah, still some pretty potent wind out there. I'm still trying to find a webcam from Hopkinsville that we can use. All right, so yeah, this mesoscale convective vortex is ongoing across western Kentucky. It's nothing to really be afraid of. You may not have heard that term before. Pretty common in the world of meteorology during the summer. It's basically like a little self contained mini area of low pressure that's developed out in western Kentucky, and that's what's been sparking off those severe thunderstorms over the last few hours. I'm going to put the radar into motion here, and you can just see how this like little area is like buzzsawing, like spinning with counterclockwise with heavy rain. So pretty neat little weather system. Not something we get to talk about a whole lot. Definitely more common in the summertime here in Kentucky than any other time of year because you need the heat and the humidity to help fire them off. Definitely getting some strong winds from this. Found a decent weather cam out of Hopkinsville on YouTube. I'm looking to see if they license the feed. I want to see if I can pop that in real quick. Oh, that ain't gonna work. Hang on one second. Oh, producing on the fly. Yeah, so that's a live look at Hopkinsville from the Solutions Technology weather cam from Hopkinsville Elevator Company. So they've got a pretty good little thunderstorm ongoing right now in Hoptown. You can see that wind is ripping there. That is really gusty wind rolling in. I'm guessing those gusts are going 30 to 40 miles per hour right now. Some driving rain with that. Let me check out the Mesonet out there, seeing what it's seeing. Sustained wind at 12 miles per hour. Yeah, switch it over to, yeah, get about a gust of 20 right now at the Hopkinsville Mesonet site. Yeah, that's a pretty good little thunderstorm rolling into town there. So if you have questions, feel free to post those in the chat. If you're just joining us, I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. It is coming up on almost 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central Time. We are tracking a pretty potent thunderstorm rolling into Hopkinsville right now. This thunderstorm complex it's what we call a mesoscale convective vortex. It's just a big fancy way of saying this thing's a little bit of a spinning like a top. We're going to roll the radar way back and just watch how this thing is developed today. You can see the real-time weather cam from Hopkinsville right above me from Elevator Solutions out there. Check them out on YouTube. Wanted to make sure I give them credit. Almost got that radar uploaded. So yeah, you can see how this storm started several hours ago out in the eastern Missouri, and it's just continuing to spin eastward into western Kentucky, and how it just blew up there just past Paducah, and just continues spinning like a top. And that front wave is where all the wind energy is, and then you get repeated areas of heavy rain spinning around the core of that storm. So, something kind of unique. Don't see it every day around here. It's like a little mini area of low pressure that's developed. But when you get the heat and humidity turned up like we have today, that's what can happen. Also, up near Madisonville, we're going to have to keep a real close eye on that. I don't like how we're starting to get that little notch in the radar south of Madisonville. Let me see how that's looking on Fort Campbell. Yeah, there's a little bit of rotation there. Ain't great. Let's keep an eye on it. And for you weather nerds out there, you're probably wondering, why am I using the radar out of Louisville or Nashville when we've got Fort Campbell and Evansville? Well, unfortunately, both of those radars and Paducah are down right now. So we're having to go out and use some long range radar. If you got questions about the storm, feel free to post those in chat. If you like the type of coverage we're doing, like and subscribe. Austin, not going to rain in Pikeville for a while, buddy. Let me go back out to the National Radar Composite. Maybe a little bit of rain, but no big thunderstorms. So yeah, looking like the worst of it is starting to calm down a little bit in Hopkinsville from the webcam we've got pulled up. Definitely seeing some pretty heavy rain. The Mesonet site in Todd County has seen 1.5 inches of rain today. Just FYI. See if I can pull that up and show it to you. Yeah, right there, 1.5 inches. Let me actually see if I can. Oh, yep, I think I can. Yep, I think I can pull this up for y'all. So I can pull up the Doppler estimated rainfall. So this is how much rain, according to the Doppler radar, has fallen in the last 24 hours. Not exact, but it will give you at least an idea. So yeah, 2.5 inches Bowling Green, 3.25 Elkton, 2.75 Russellville, almost 2 inches in Hopkinsville. So there's been some decent rainfall out here in western Kentucky. That storm is continuing to spin on in and bring heavy rain and gusty winds to western Kentucky, and we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that's going to last for another 53 minutes. That is such a long warning. Check in social media, see if you guys have any questions on some of the other platforms. If you're watching from, let me know where you're watching from and what questions you have about the weather tonight. Wow, 113 mile per hour wind gust just measured in Kansas. That is insane. All right, Queen Elizabeth joining us on YouTube, waiting for the storm to get here in Todd County. It's getting there. How's it looking for St. Joe? Look up that real quick. If you're referring to the St. Joe north of Campbellsville near Lebanon, you're okay for now. You may get some thunderstorms here in a couple hours, maybe about 2-ish in the morning. You can actually take a look at the future radar and map that out.
A new flash flood warning has been issued.
Okay, so since you asked about St. Joseph, let me pull this up. It's one of the nice things about Aguacero Weather, the radar program I use. We can go to the future radar from the HRRR. So St. Joe, right about down in here in Marion County. So looks like may hold off till about 6-7 in the morning for you before it moves in. So yeah, the HRRR is doing a really good job, like forecasting how this thing is going to evolve, or at least it looks pretty good to me through about 2 or 3 in the morning. I think that's a very realistic solution. Ethel, not tonight in Perry County. Just some light rain and wind. Also, we just had that new flash flood warning issued. We'll take a closer look at this. This does include the city of Princeton. So, flash flood warning for Caldwell County, Lyon County, until 12:30. Have seen between 1.5 and 2.5 inches of rain and could see an additional inch. So flash flooding is possible over there. It's going to go up until 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. And that is again for Caldwell and Lyon counties. Teresa, thanks for watching. It's quiet in Floyd County for now. Will be for a while. This is mainly a Western Kentucky event tonight. This mesoscale convective complex or convective vortex. It's mainly impacted in Western Kentucky. We got a few scattered showers lingering over near London and Hazard, but nothing too major. And if you're wondering why we're using this radar and not the individual radar sites from like Fort Campbell, Evansville, or Paducah, they're all down tonight. So if you're just joining us, having some major radar issues in western Kentucky. So once again, if you're just joining us, I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. It is 10:45 Eastern, 9:45 Central Time. We are tracking a pretty interesting storm system out in western Kentucky, a mesoscale convective vortex or convective complex. It's basically just a small area of low pressure that's developed and is spinning across western Kentucky for some thunderstorms earlier in the day that started out over in Missouri. And this spinning storm system is causing some heavy rain and very gusty winds in portions of western Kentucky. Yeah, pull up the Mesonet camera from Todd County. That's what will pop up since that's the next spot that's going to be impacted. Whoops. That webcam from the Kentucky Mesonet. So if you're not familiar with the Kentucky Mesonet, high density network of weather stations across Kentucky, operated out of Western Kentucky University. I believe they're up to 87 or 88 sites now across the state, and it provides us real-time weather data. So awesome for nights like tonight where we've got strong and severe thunderstorms ongoing. Helps us track the storms, see how much rain is falling, see how much or how strong the winds are. Super powerful tool, and I'm glad we've got it. Been really interesting to watch this storm system develop. It's all thanks to the heat and humidity today. Temperatures topped out mid to upper 80s, dew points into the 70s. It's just so muggy out there. It's soupy. That's some thick air. I was actually setting up a new Starlink for my mother-in-law today. And being up on that roof, yeah, let me tell you, it was hot and it was humid. So that heat and humidity is what's fueling these thunderstorms. I'm going to step off camera real quick and grab a bottle of water. So we are continuing to track heavy rain producing storms. We got flash flood warning for Lyon and Caldwell counties. We got severe thunderstorm warnings for Christian and Todd counties. So this is definitely a Western Kentucky event tonight. If you're in Western Kentucky, let us know where you're checking in from, and be sure to share the stream. Let your friends know, hey, we are focused strictly on Kentucky. That's what we do here. I'll leave the rest of the country to my buddy Ryan, but when it comes to Kentucky, I like to jump on here and share my 2 cents. Pop back over to TikTok. So we are also live tonight, not only on Facebook and YouTube, on TikTok. So if you got questions over there, be sure to post those in the chat. Oh, did we just lose our... alert data? Well, looks like it popped all of it back up. I'll have to fix that later. So you may see some non-Kentucky warnings scrolling across the screen right now. So this will continue to spin eastward. Here's what the future radar should look like in about an hour. Then at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m., get up into E-Town. Broaden out the view a little bit. 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., starting to see some action in central Kentucky. London, you may have a decent little thunderstorm come through between 9 and 10 tomorrow. And then we'll just have to see how tomorrow develops. But the HRRR seems to think there's at least a shot of some stronger thunderstorms tomorrow. So we will see how it all develops.
A new flash flood warning has been issued.
That's out in Texas. Might try to fix that real quick. Oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to turn that layer off right now. Austin, I primarily use Aguacera and Radar Omega. Alright guys, well, I think that this storm's going to pretty much behave itself for the next little bit. I'm going to step away for just a little bit. And I'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, and we are back. Had to go do some dad duty. Eli was not happy. All right, so if you're just joining us, I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. It's just after 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. We have two warnings ongoing across Kentucky right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning continuing for Christian and Todd counties. That's got about another 30 minutes left on it, I believe. Yep, going until 10:30. And then we have a flash flood warning back into Lyon and Caldwell counties until 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern Time. And all of this is because we've got a pretty potent little storm system rolling through western Kentucky tonight. It's what we call a mesoscale convective vortex, a mesoscale convective complex. The terms are pretty much interchangeable. And it's a cluster of thunderstorms that spins on a small scale. It's almost like a little mini area of low pressure that's developed from earlier thunderstorms in the day. And tapping into all that heat and humidity we had out there today, it is creating some perfect conditions for heavy rain and gusty wind producing thunderstorms. There we go. Sorry, trying to cut back on the glare. I know that's all right, there we go. There we go. Not in my usual setup tonight, so. All right, so if you've got questions about the weather, be sure to post those on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok. I am monitoring all three streams. And with this system, what we're tracking is just some really heavy rain, really gusty wind. Did have a tornado warning earlier, and that's not completely unusual in this kind of a setup. Mainly because there is just a little bit of spin with that vortex. All right, guys. Well, this storm should behave itself tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up coverage. And we will bring you updates
A new
tomorrow.
PDS severe thunderstorm warning
So
has
until
been
next
issued.